Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing today? It's Tuesday. A little bit different. We're changing things up. Normally it's Rat Rig Tuesday, but something sort of came up. It was an opportunity I couldn't pass on. I know you're all excited, but today we're going to be covering the Voron Stealth Doodler. So I know many of you thought this was an April Fool's joke, but Voron Design, yes, that is true. We did actually partner with E3D, and as you can see, that is an official Revo there. Once it focuses, focus. Doesn't want to focus. See, so today we're going to be talking about the Voron Design Stealth Doodler. I don't know what this box is. So available where all PLA not real things are sold. Form not working. The form should be working. Oh no, there we go. Form's working now. Okay. So hello. Yes, it's Tuesday, and I got that. We got this. We got a Mark IV. We're gonna unbox a Mark IV. So for those that are new, every stream we give away a spool of Polymaker filament. Link in the description, so make sure you enter for that. I forgot to make it live, so it should be live now. So you should be good to go. Might have to hit refresh. Put an obsidian there. I do have an obsidian right here. But either way, yes, it's Mark IV time. So I know, you know, I've spoken about this last couple streams. I plan on getting a Mark IV. But I was waiting on the kits. I didn't want to get one that's pre-assembled, because that's kind of the thing we do on this channel is we build printers. So when you take it out of the box and put it on the shelf, there goes, you know, content, my normal content. That's not something, I don't mind it, but I'd rather build the printer, right? Plus then I can milk it through a few more streams and, you know, get some more content out of it to justify the cost. But either way, so it was going to be a while before I was going to get my hands on a Mark IV, like June, I believe. However, luckily, a fan of the channel happened to buy one the day, like as soon as they opened up, like orders opened up, and they paid extra for shipping. And they're like, hey, I'm going to be busy with work for a couple days. Do you want to unbox it and play around with it for a couple days? And I'm like, you drive a hard bargain, sir, but I agree to your terms. So we have a Prusa Mk4. So as far as I know, I've blocked out all the shipping info, so we should be okay. I didn't get a fancy box. Stefan posted a picture of his, and he got a fancy box with his. I got a pretty boring box, so I don't know if it's just they're running out of box, or if it's the box that he has the cycloidal extruder image on it, and they need to update the box. I don't know. Either way, this is the box. It is lighter than you think it is. I don't know if it's just because I'm so used to we've been unboxing a lot of bigger printers lately. It's lighter than you think. We got Prusa Mk4, fully assembled orange, and a PI sheet made in European Union, Prague, Czech Republic. This side has more cardboard, and this side has another sticker. And nothing on the bottom, nothing on the top, except another sticker. That's the box. 100 likes. We're at 100 likes. Cool. Like that smash button. Gotta love that dopamine response. Remember, bigger number, better YouTuber, right? Number only go up. So let's get into this. So the plan today is I'm gonna be printing on this like mad for like 2 or 3 days to try and get footage and try and make a video of it before I give it back to Buddy. So I've got this till like Friday or Saturday. So obviously I can't destroy anything. We got to keep it intact. Which means also I can't eat the gummies because they're not my gummies to eat. Okay. So let's take a look here. So if you're curious on what this comes with, this is going to be kind of hard to get a good. Actually, I can put this on the floor. Here. Don't drop the printer that you don't own. Okay. Somebody became a member. Ricardo, thank you for becoming a member. Cheers. So let's see if I can get a camera angle for this. I don't know if I can. There we go. Okay. Don't fall over. I got a cheat sheet here. Thank you for, oh, make sure there's no like serial number. Okay, so thank you for purchasing a Mark IV. Cool. Got that. We got her Haribos. Again, these are not mine to eat, so I can't eat them. We got our calibration sheet. Again, let me block the serial number. So we got our Prusa calibration sheet. Our power cable. You've got a billion of these already. We got new stickers. Again, I can't use any of these. These are not my stickers. Temporary spool holder. I would love this. The temporary spool holder sticker. That's kind of, that hits a little close to home. And you got your manual. You get this big honking manual with it. So we are going to be following the manual for setting this up. I want to see how long it takes, because again, we're going into this like I don't know what a printer is. On the side here, Mark IV accessories, and we got some filament guides. So we got some accessories here. Screwdriver. We got ooh, comes with a thumb drive. A 16 gig thumb drive. Nice. I'm pretty sure we use thumb drives now instead of SD cards. And then we've got a spool of Prusa Galaxy Black PLA. I won't be opening this. This isn't my filament to use. Then we got printer. Again, don't lose any of this packaging. Okay, so let me move this over here. Florin gifted 10 community memberships. Cheers. There we go. See, I knew we'd be using the rat rig today. Okay, so here it is. There's actually a print on the surface, and that is printed on the surface. Okay, so how does this work? So this comes out. I want to see if there's any instructions in here about how to unbox this. Introduction, extruder, unpacking. No, okay, just yeah, it just comes out. Sometimes you have to like raise the bed. Serial number and password are shown in Prusa Connect settings. Okay. Okay, so the build's done. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Take care. Bye. Yeah. Okay, so that just moves. Okay, cool. Serial number. Let's see. When was this made? Okay, so this frame, for those that don't know, if you want to know when something that was made and it's plastic injection molded or it's die cast in this case, you can take a look at the date wheel. So that's 22 in the middle, and there's 10 ticks. So this frame was built in or shot in 2022 in December. If you're curious, some people want to know that. So first things first, let's take a look at it. How is this made? How is the screen made? I think that's got to be a sticker. Somebody was wondering if this has got to be, yeah, this is a sticker. This is not printed on, I think. This is like a silk screen or a sticker. The body is printed, but the lettering, that's all That's printed. Like it's a sticker. Got our flex plate. Oh no. It's a keychain, I guess. Put that in the accessories, again, not mine. Smooth PI sheet, both sides. Nothing on it. It's the same as the old one. The bed's the same. As far as I'm aware, the bed is exactly the same. Although, what's new is the bed frame is now cast. So I don't know if you could see, but it's cast. And this frame was made in, hard to say, last year at some point. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Oh, this was made early. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. This frame's like from April or May. The bed carriage is from April or May last year. There's the LCD screen. 1 second. So that's cool. So it is still all these cables, and it's grounded. There's a ground on it, so that's good. Is the bed grounded? I'm assuming it is. Maybe it is. I see 2 grounds. I got a ground going to the controller. Controller's grounded. That's grounded. We got the fancy extruder, which this thing is compact. This thing is really compact. I think they talked about it on Tom's, but look how like close it is to your axis. Like your nozzle's right there. It doesn't, if you got a Mark III, you know how much that big motor hangs out. This one's really in, and like this is a 40, what is this, a 4010 or 50? No, this is like a 5010. Brushless, it's a Delta fan. What is that, a 5010? 1 second here. Let me find my fans. Where are my fans? Buddy. Where are all my fans at? I don't know where all my fans are at. I've lost all my fans. Yeah. So yeah, so this is a 4010 fan, which if you built a Voron, this is the fans we use. So yeah, so that's a bigger fan. Yeah, so this is like a 5010 fan. Or 5015 even, or maybe 5010. Either way, bigger fan. So it is not a 4010 fan. And it's a Delta, so it's a good quality brand. On the back, this is metal, I think. Is that metal? No, that's... No, that's printed. It just looks like it. So that is cool. Got that. This clips on. There's like a little cover here. It's a lot more rigid. No more zip ties. No more zip ties. Same with the bed. And the bed does have growth points, so it can flex. Wiring looks all clean. Here's the thing. This is so close to it's very similar to a Prusa Mk4, obviously. It's the same frame, same general construction. It's just updated. 10 mil Z rods, that's new. I'm assuming all the parts are PETG. These are no longer, these are now captive. They got like a plate over it versus sliding them before. It looks beefier in some regards. There's your fan duct. I don't know, anything else you guys? Oh, I know what we can do before we open it up, or before we start. I gotta move this up. I gotta plug this in. I wanna take a look at the controller. Is there a serial? I don't see a serial. Oh, there it is. Well. Parts of the ASA. It's hard to tell, and I'm not gonna, this isn't my machine, so I'm not gonna take a torch to anything to figure it out. plug that in. Now, actually, before we do that, I think I missed some. It's your activity. Zombie Hedgehog for 149. Cheers. Did I miss anything? Okay. Okay. Oh, the controller case is metal now. It's a metal case. So let's power this on and get it all connected. So I'm going to connect it to my home Wi-Fi. Apparently it's got Wi-Fi. So on startup, the fans go full power. And then they turn off. So that's good. Ooh, there's LEDs under there. Okay. Hi, this is your original Prusa Mk4 printer. I would like to guide you through the setup. Okay. Self-test would begin to check for potential assembly-related issues. Continue. During this check, the expected fan speeds are checked for 30 seconds. There you go. Oh, you even seen the RPMs there. So it's checking the fans. Can the extruder already be upgraded? I'm assuming it's already compatible from the factory. Josh said you can keep the sticker you wanted. Awesome. Thank you, Josh. Like, it is, if you've played with the Mark III, this is going to be like mechanically, functionally, it's near the same. Like, I'm thinking that the bed assembly looks damn near identical. We do got new motors. They are Prusa Research by Joseph Prusa, original Prusa i3 X-axis. Okay, the Z is a lot quieter than the Mark III moving at these speeds. I'll give it that. The Z is a lot quieter than the Mark III moving at those speeds. Okay, load cell test. We will need your help with this test. You will be asked to tap the nozzle. Don't worry, it's cold. Okay. Continue. Tap nozzle in 3, 2, 1. Tap nozzle now. Load cell task passed. Okay. Okay. Okay, so it trimmed out. This is a lot quieter moving at these speeds than the Mark III. Okay, during this test, the heat bed and the extruder will move in full range. It's quieter than a Mark III. It is quieter than a Mark III, that's for sure. Okay, so right now it's checking all the axis movement, I guess. Okay. Now Z axis, so it's going to do a home. Turn off the auto. Yeah, here, let me turn off the filter. Okay, noise suppression's off. Okay. Now it is heating up. Okay, so it's doing the heat test. I really love how compact this tool head is. Like, it is thin. Like, it's very much in line with the, like, it is as close to those, the X-axis, the rods, as possible. It's really tucked in there. It sounds like it I don't know how I could say this. It sounds like it's moving with more authority. I don't know. And then it is heating up. I don't know if you can see it now, just the other camera. So you can see it's heating up there. So do I have the Wi-Fi module? I do have the Wi-Fi module plugged in, and there is Ethernet. I might just connect it to my Ethernet, we'll see. Or actually I'll do Wi-Fi because I want to see how fast the Wi-Fi is. I don't know if I could say these are the LDO motors, but these are the LDO motors. You need at least 5 centimeters of filament to calibrate the filament sensor. Do you have filament? I got 45. I'm assuming that includes some in there. Yes. Great. We need to start without the filament in the extruder. Please make sure there is no filament in the sensor. Okay, unload. Oh, it's PLA. Is this a touchscreen? No, PLA. Personally, I don't know about you and me. I don't like touchscreens. I prefer physical knobs. Oh, they did publicly confirm it's LDO motors? Okay, cool. Yeah, it's LDO motors. Okay, I need some filament. So I don't have any Prusa Mk4, but I do have Jesse PLA. So we'll go with that. Please make sure there's filament in the filament sensor, okay? So take out that little thing. Continue. Oh, insert the filament into the cylinder until I'll put a little chamfer on it. Continue. Are you grabbing the filament? What's going on here? Self-test, okay. Oh, okay. Happy printing, continue, okay. So I need, so let's go to filament. Load filament. We're gonna load PLA. Okay. Oh. Also, this is something I really like. This is something new. That is threaded. So you can put a reverse Bowden in there. I don't know, I'm gonna dig through the spare parts to see if they have. Are you actually? Oh, unlock. What is going on here? And if you want to see what the geared extruder looks like, because you can open it up, it's right there. Or it's not, it's the big honky gear, like big honking gear there. It's a big feed gear on this thing. Make sure the filament is inserted through the sensor. I did. It's not feeding. Load filament, PLA. Are you feeding? Filament's not feeding. Stop. Load filament. It unloaded the filament. PLA. Press continue and push filament into the extruder, okay? Inserting. Oh, okay, you can't have filament in it when you try to load. Okay. Loading filament. There we go. Okay. So if you go to load filament and you have filament in it, it won't work. You have to make sure it's empty before you load. So, okay. Change, purge filament. Can you purge? Return. Okay, so we got filament in there. Nothing came out though. Preheat filament. Won't let you purge. Can you manually feed? Preheat PLA. Oh, I got to preheat, that's why. Okay, so that's on. Control. Move axis. Move extruder. It's saying low temp, so I gotta wait. PLA. So we gotta wait for that to heat up. Got over 1,100 watching. Hi everyone! Make sure you enter. We're gonna give away some Polymaker filament at the end. Yeah, I'm gonna purge a bit more. That's why I'm waiting for it to heat up. So it's like at -40 right now. So does it know? Oh, it knows where the filament's at. Okay, watch this, watch. So it says I'm at -10 now. If I go to 0, should be at the nozzle. There we go. Okay, cool. Return, return. Okay, cool. We got filament in the nozzle, I guess. Preheat. Cool down. Okay. Let's see Wi-Fi. So settings. Network. Prusa link enabled. Generate password. Okay. Set up Wi-Fi module. Use the online guide. Okay. Do we want to do it now or do we want to get it printing? Should we get it printing or should we go through the Wi-Fi? Update. Okay. Continue. Updating Wi-Fi. Do not unplug. Okay. I wonder why they decided on i3 and not Core XY. Because then it wouldn't be a Mark IV. It would be the XL, which they have if you want. Printing, printing, Wi-Fi now, printing. Make up your mind! Okay, we'll do a print here. We'll do a demo print, and then at the end of the demo print, we'll go and set up the Wi-Fi. Steve gifted 5 community memberships. Cheers, Steve. And Jason, $25. Cheers. Cheers from LDO 0.9 degree stepper motors. Insert USB. Okay. Yeah. So how about we'll get it printing? Okay, so we'll how about we do a print and then at the end of the stream we'll okay, print. So what do we got here? What do we have here? Mobile. Okay, so we need something that we can print relatively quickly. rocket engine, that's 13 hours. Keychain, keychain. That's filament guide. There's nothing quick. Robo alpaca. Oh, filament guide. I don't want a filament guide. Is there like no benchy on this thing? Okay, you know what? We'll slice something. We're gonna slice something. Maybe the Mark V will be Core XY? No! I don't know what people are thinking about, but if it's an i3, it's gonna be an i3. It's gonna be a bed flinger, because that's what the i3 is. If you want a Core XY from Prusa, buy the XL. Prusa slicer. I can't spell Prusa. There we go. Gary gifted a community membership. Okay. Okay, cool. So, fun fact, I already have the profile right here. So we got the Mark IV, Prusa Mk4 PLA. You know it's not Prusa Mk4. We'll do 0.2 speed. I guess we just do a benchy. It's a Prusa. You gotta do a benchy on a Prusa. Slice. So it's saying an hour. So these are the default speeds and feeds. So let's see. So the 0.2 profile is cracking at 200 millimeters a second for infill, 70 for perimeter, small perimeters 35, external perimeters 40, and infill 2K XL. So it goes up to 2K. So I want to preface this. I won't be reviewing this printer in the video. I'm going to be doing a video on this, hopefully. But the video I will be doing will not be a review, because this machine's not done is the most PG way I can say it. It doesn't have input shaper on it yet. The firmware doesn't have input shaper on it. So it's a functionally completely fine printer, but it's not done. Excels are right here. This is the default profile. And we do get a nice little picture of what we're printing. Filament not detected. I've got filament. I've got filament. Select no. Load filament now. Yes. PLA. I've got filament in there. What's going on with the filament sensor? Prusa did a bench. Yes, they're running beta firmware in there. They're running 200 millimeters a second, 8K XL for that 20-minute benchy. That firmware is not public yet. So hardware-wise, it's done, but they still need a little bit more time in the oven with the firmware, I guess. I don't know what the timeline on that is. They also printed draft settings. So what are the draft settings? So if we were to do draft settings, that's 43 minutes. So that knocks off 20 minutes. So you know what? Let's do the draft settings. Make sure the filament is inserted through the sensor. I do have it inserted through the sensor. It's in there right now. What is going on here? Oh, it's printing. Well, too late. It's printing. We're heating the bed up. We got blue LEDs now. Recalibrate the filament sensor. Yeah, I'm thinking I got to recalibrate the filament sensor. Yeah, let me stop this. I want to stop this, yes. I don't think I set up the filament sensor correctly. Home. Settings. Filament. Unload filament. Yeah. And I'm going to slice this on draft settings. Yeah, I don't think I calibrated the filament sensor because it's like false positives. So we want this 43-minute benchy. There we go. Save. Did you mean? Yeah, I intentionally did it incorrectly so you could learn. The joys of a live stream, right? Okay, so filament's out. So stop. Okay, stop. Return. Settings. System. Return. Info. Can I recalibrate without having to go through the whole thing? Oh, filament sensor calibration. Okay. Continue. Insert the filament into the extruder until the filament sensor is detects the filament. Okay. There we go. Okay. Filament, load filament, PLA. No sock. It doesn't have a sock, which I'm kinda... Why? You think it would have a sock, but it doesn't. Okay, make sure the filament is through the sensor, okay? There we go. Inserting filament. Pushing to nozzle. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now it's working. Okay, so I didn't calibrate it properly. I think I pulled out too early. It happens. Yes. So we're good now. So let's print a benchy. Print. So again, I haven't done any Z calibration or anything. Joe said a sock was in the works. Okay. Oh, speaking of Joe, everyone, Joe's in chat. Everyone say hi, Joe. We're about to start printing a boat, because apparently that's all you do with printers. A little bit of hiccup with the filament calibration, but we're good now. And what are we doing? Waiting on the... Okay, waiting on the nozzle to drop to 170 and the bed to heat up to 60. I'm loving these lights. Please tell me they change color as the print progresses. And also, I've got a really long delay. Because I set this stream up and this is like a new one in a series, I didn't reuse previous settings. So normally I have like an 8-second delay and it's on default. So it's like a 20 or 30-second delay. Where did Joe go? So off we go. So we got a little bit of filament smooch in there. So we'll see how that affects the Z, because it's supposed to like be smart. Okay. Printing. So it's doing adaptive mesh, so it should only mesh where it needs to. Which it's a benchy, so pretty much the middle of the bed area. Okay, it's heating. Okay, so now we're heating the extruder up to actual print temp. The LEDs are programmable. Ooh, nice. We're above 1200? Dang. Hi everyone. Like the smash button and other things YouTubers tell you to do. Don't forget to, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. We stream 3 days a week, and I do occasional videos. So purge line, and now boom. So this is benchy at the default draft settings in Prusa Slicer. I need a better tripod. I know this thing is it's got a gangsta lean going on. It's a last minute change to the setup. I do actually have a better tripod, but it's smaller. Actually, let me see this. What the pressure advance is? I don't know. I haven't dug into any of the settings yet. You already subbed? Awesome. Mute the music. It's not going super fast yet. It's still doing like first layers. So once it actually speeds up, I'll turn the music off and get a good clean audio. Can you increase the speed? Let's see here. Let me fix this camera first. Let me put on a better tripod. That's moving at a decent clip. So, let's see here. Oh. Oh wow, this camera sucks. Un momento. Why is there no accelerometer? I don't know. I'm assuming, so here's the thing. I don't know exactly how Input Shaper in how Prusa's implementation is with Input Shaper, and like how hardware intensive is it? Or how accurate it is, right? So I have a feeling their Input Shaper is kind of going to be like a from the factory version of it, because they have control over how all the machines are built, right? So you have a little bit more control to ensure that all your machines are built good, and you should, you know, the tune should be relatively the same for all of them, for the most part. No guarantee though. Autofocus and zoom out. There we go. There we go. Okay, so if you want unfiltered audio, music off. I got the voice filters off, or the noise filters off. That's not bad. Like, I would say it's on par with pretty much a normal, faster printer. You don't have the drone of really loud fans. So yeah, so it doesn't have input shaper. It does not have input shaper. So we do not have input shaper on this firmware yet. So similar to an unenclosed warrant. It would make sense. They're running on the same motors. It sounds like a printer. I know. But like, put it this way. I'm wearing IEMs. They're not noise canceling. And they kill most of this noise. So the noise on this really doesn't like travel. Still a 50-15. It's not a 40-10. The side fan, the part fan, it's not a 40-10. It's like a 50-10 or something like that. I don't know the exact spec. I don't know if Joe's still here. It's a little out of focus. Problem is I can't manually focus this camera, I don't think. It's a bit blurry. Well, it is what it is. It's trying to like track something. Autofocus. There we go. Oh. Yeah, that's even worse. Input shaper will be working within a month. Okay. So let's see what I have for options here, because there's like options on the screen. So tune. Print speed is 100. Flow factor, sound mode, loud, silent. I'm assuming that is, yeah, that's the beeps. User interface, footer, RGB status bar. You can turn it off and on. Turn. Oh wait, what's footer? Oh, does that change what I think I just changed? Oh, nice. So those settings that I changed, you can change what is shown on your status bar. So I've added speed percent and I've added Z height. So you can change what's shown on the bottom of your display. Oh, that's cool. So I'm going to let it go at 100% for a bit, and then I'll bump it up to like 200 and see what happens. I don't know what it's locked to for stock acceleration limits in firmware, though. So that'll be... Mini has that too? Oh, okay. I like the display. It's very clean. Like, it's I don't know. I don't like touchscreens. I personally don't like touchscreens at all on printers. So a nice clean color LED or LCD display with a good button, that's what I like. Are the parts PETG? I'm assuming they got the PETG sheen to them, so I'm assuming they're PETG, but am I getting a Mark IV kit? I will be getting a Mark IV kit once they're available. What if I hit the reset button? It probably is the e-stop, so. Look at the dents in the bottom rod. What dents? I don't see any dents. From what you can see on the screen, it looks like you can mount the fan on the back and run it down under the right of the nozzle until it allows for a bigger fan. I'm sure people, there's a ton of free real estate in the back here. I'm sure people will have mods for like dual 50-15 blowers or CPAP and all that in short order. Print with flex. No. Every printer in the last 5 years that isn't using the shitty Ender 3 stock extruder can print flexibles just fine. I have no doubt in this thing's ability to print flex, but I will print some flex stuff over the next couple days. Oh, yeah, that's lube. And I'm not going to critique the printed parts on this, because for all I know, the printed parts on here were printed on Mark IIIs. So I'm not going to use the printed parts in here at all indicative of the print quality of these printers. Because for all you know, these parts were printed on a 5-year-old Mark III in a print farm. This is grease. This is actually grease. So they grease the bearings. Now I got grease on my hands. Does the side fan have a locking mechanism? No. It does not, but it snaps into position, which honestly, I would rather it be able to move instead of being fully locked and just kind of have like a detent so it'll stay there unless you hit it. Because that way, if it crashes into something, it'll just move out of the way instead of snapping off. So that's actually kind of nice that, like, if you got a print going and you bump this, it just does that. And then you just go boop and you're good instead of it breaking off. Prusa Live, they've been using Mark IVs for a year. They've been using some. They haven't replaced their entire print farm, though. So, what's the full name of the filament? This filament is Jesse PLA. This is Jesse PLA Mystery Orange. I'm not doing a 20-minute benchy because that benchy was done on beta firmware I do not have. So, it looks like the linear rods are all smashed up. They're not. They're hardened rods. That's oil that you're seeing on these rods. That's like oil and grease. If they were smashed up, you would know. Believe me. Printed parts quality, Prusa print farm quality. I'm not going to judge them. The swivel makes it easier. Yeah. I really like that this swivel's out of the way in the event of like if you had a print warping up and it caught, I'd rather just bump out of the way than break off. The price of the printer. Shoodonk. I don't know everyone's budget. I don't know what everyone's looking for in their machine. Some people may think this is an expensive machine. Other people think it's a decent value. It depends what you're looking for the machine to do and what features you want. And it's the same price as a Mark III. They recently discounted the price of a Mark III. Is that grease lightning infill? I don't know. It's whatever stock settings are in Prusa Slicer. What is everyone about printed parts? I don't know. I think it's because a certain other printer came out that used all stamped sheet metal parts. So everyone's like, oh my God, it uses printed parts. You know, current speed benchy records are done on Vorons with, a ton of printed parts, but whatever. It's plastic, it's good enough. By the way, if you're wondering, printing this much purge. Any type of, I don't know what kind of bearings they are. My Mark III had THK bearings, which are good quality Japanese bearings. I'm assuming these bearings are decent. I could pop off one of these covers on the Z-axis to take a look in a bit, maybe. But after this print's done, what we're gonna do, I'll pop off one of these to see what type of bearings they have, and we'll open up the controller box and take a look at the controller. If Mark III is N1 in farms, would this beat it? I'm not sure what you mean there, but yeah. An i4. I would like to see, honestly, between me and you, Prusa XL Mini. And call it the XL Mini, just because it would be funny. Like, they had those print farm printers all cubed up. I just want one of those. I'm not a huge fan of super large printers. Most people don't need printers beyond 250, let's be honest. Or hell, just make an XL using this bed and this extruder or tool head. Who made motors? LDO. So what's different between this and a Mark III? Okay, so controller is 32-bit. Still uses the 2130s. I don't know why they didn't upgrade to 2209s, but it's working. Motors are now, I don't know if the previous ones were LDO, but these are now LDO 0.9 degree steppers. We got a nice fancy high contrast LCD. It's not touchscreen. It uses USB sticks. Rods are now 10 mil on the Z. The biggest update, in my opinion, is the tool head. It's the extruder. It's got the big old gearing. I don't know what they're calling it, the big gear. It's got a big feed gear, put it that way. Toolhead board, new hot end, 32-bit. It's basically, I don't know why people were assuming the next version of the i3, the Mark IV, would be like completely, it's evolutionary, not revolutionary. They took something that's good and made it better. That's what this is. I don't know why the autofocus sucks on this. Okay, Kim Jogan. Cool. Thanks for your opinion. If your only comment in chat, or if you comment on this video in the future, if you say it's overpriced, it's X years late, I canceled my XL order for a bamboo. What are the other ones? I don't know. Get some new material, because we've heard it a million times already. Like, if you got actual constructive criticism, I already have constructive criticism for this, share it. But if you're going to parrot the same shitty repeated lines over and over, you're going to get muted or banned, because you're not adding anything to the conversation. The noise is quieter. I would say it's quieter, especially at the speeds. For fun, on a... what stream was it? I can't remember what stream it was. It might have been the member stream. We printed with the Mark III using the Mark IV profile. It was not happy with those speeds. What about calling me a Prusa shill? If I was actually getting paid by Prusa, maybe you could call me a shill, but like, to date, the only one who's gotten money out of this is Prusa. Actually, no, because I got the printed solid. Printed solid gave me the Mark III. So to date, Prusa has gotten my down payment for an XL, and that's it. That's the only money that's exchanged hands between me and Prusa, is I gave him money. Saval SV06. Okay, the SV06 is, you can get 4 SV06s for the cost of one of these, okay? It depends on your situation. If you were getting into 3D printing and if you didn't know the hobby would be for you, an SV06 makes a bit more sense because it's less of an initial investment. However, if you were planning to get a machine that you wanted to use for a long time and have support, a Mark IV or even a discounted Mark III, because people are putting them up on sale on Kijiji and Facebook Marketplace all over the place now, probably makes a bit more sense. It really depends on what you're looking to get out of the machine and what you expect to get out of the machine, especially in the long term. Longer term, I would say go with the Prusa. But if you're just like, I think I might want to get into 3D printing, I don't know for sure, something like an SV06 makes a little bit more sense because of the less upfront cost. Sonic pad, I would never use a Sonic pad. Personally, I think it's a junk device and it tried to burn my house down. And I don't support Clipper on a lockdown proprietary device. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to depend on Creality for my Clipper updates. Should I buy a Mark IV or build a switch wire? That's up to you. I've used my Mark III more in the last year than my switch wire. The controller box is metal, and we're going to open it up once this print finishes. Do they improve belt tensioning? I think it's the same. On this, let me, you know what? Let me go get my Mark III so I can do a little compare and contrast. Oh my God, the tool head on this thing is massive. Okay. It's beefier. Okay. We're mobile. Okay. So, look how, let's zoom out. Look how narrow this is. Look how beefy this is. It's a lot skinnier. And holy hell, that's a fat tool head. That is a chunky boy compared to this now. That is a chunky boy. And all this weight is up here too. The bed, these look the same. That's bigger. The XY joints are pretty much the same, just bigger because of the 10 mil rods. Don't fat shame the tool head. It's large and in charge. The upgrade kit for the Mark III to Mark IV is worthwhile for $579. Here's the thing. I was kind of tempted at first to get the full upgrade kit and upgrade my Mark III. It depends if you want more than one printer, honestly. Because you can get, for $800, you can get a full Mark IV kit. And what is it? Is it $579 is basically the full upgrade? Because in my opinion, I think the new Toolhead and the 32-bit controller, if you were going to upgrade it, I would say that. Get the upgraded controller and the new Toolhead. That'll probably get you the most bang for your buck. Going to the full upgrade, I don't think it's worth it, unless you were planning to take the leftover parts and throw it on a bare frame. Because you would pretty much have everything you would need to put it on a bare frame. I think you would just need to buy a bed and the bare frame itself and print some parts. So. What's done with the hot end? So you're gonna have to, I'm not gonna take it apart because I don't, as much as I would like to take it apart, this isn't my machine. I don't want to accidentally break anything. I don't think I will, but I don't want to accidentally break anything. So this isn't my machine. I'm not gonna take the tool head apart or anything. But when I do a build of this from a kit, we'll take a look at everything. But they have videos of how the whole tool head comes apart and how the extruder assembly works. Tom went to Prusa and did a video, so go watch that. It's a fully constrained filament path. That's what I like about the way Prusa did it. And they didn't go with the Revo because they would not have been able to do what they did here if they had went with a Revo. Because a Revo is like is a design meant to work on multiple printers. This is their setup specifically for this printer and the extruder. So it makes a bit more sense. The harmonic drive, it's just, I don't know what happened, but nobody else does cycloidal drive extruders. And I'm assuming there's a reason, and I'm sure Prusa found that reason. Do I need to send it back? No, this isn't my machine. So for anyone saying that I got a special machine or I got, you know, no, this is a somebody in town who bought one and DM'd me and like, hey, I won't be able to play with it for a couple days. You want to borrow it? So this is a completely random machine off the shelf sent to some random person that I'm playing with. So nobody can say this is a cherry-picked unit. No, thank you for becoming a member. Yeah, let me go through the accessory box. I don't know if it comes with the adapter or if that's an aftermarket thing. Okay, what is this? What is this? Filament guide add-on. Oh! How does this work? Prusa.io/filament guide. Let's go here. Prusa.io/ So that goes there. Oh! And you got a little piece to hold the filament? Oh, that's nice. That is a lot cleaner than the stock setup. Oh, that's cool. I didn't even look at this. What else do we got in here? An extruder V6 nozzle adapter available for $29. On my personal unit, when I build one, I'll get that adapter. I'm going to put a diamond nozzle in it probably. Because I have a few of those, a Diamondback. Some wipes and whatnot. Got some tools, nozzle wrenches, screwdriver, and oh, here's the filament guide hardware. So yeah. When will the printed parts? I don't know. And for those wondering, because it's open source and why they haven't released it, hardware is different when it comes to the licensing. And unless the files are based off existing files, you actually are under no need to release the files until you want to. So because this design is all the printed parts are new, I don't know for sure. Don't quote me on that, but because the printed parts are new, they are actually under no obligation to release the files until they want to. You know, it is open source, like, because there is no source to disclose. They are the source. I'm sure they will release the files at some point, but I'm assuming they would like to get some sales before Physx starts cloning this shit. Because that's the thing with, like, people are wondering with Voron, like, well, when we're developing stuff for Voron, we don't have to release the in-development file if they're based off of something new. What about Input Shaper? That firmware is not available yet. Some people in chat were saying like a month. I don't know, Joe, if you're still in chat, I doubt it. If you happen to, like, if you want to send me a file, I'll happily test it for you. You know, this isn't my machine, but be released when they feel they can. Well, I'm assuming there's a reason they brought all the PCB manufacturing in-house, because that'll at least give them a head start on that. It's a lot harder to copy a board when you don't release the files for it. There is no fan for the controller either. The controller doesn't have a fan, I don't think. There is a bit of heat coming off this box though. And it's more than this box. I'm wondering, because 2130s kind of make a bit of heat. I'm wondering if they heat sink the controller to the metal box. I don't know. We'll see when I open it up. Allow the touchscreen in future firmware seems likely. If they want, is the screen actually capable of being a touchscreen? Personally, I don't like touchscreens. No controller fan? No, they didn't have a controller fan on the Mark III either. So. And I don't think there's a way to connect a Raspberry Pi to it, though, unfortunately. Like, except via USB. Too much grease on the rod? Eh, you can wipe them down. That's been an issue so far. 1 month thing? Okay, so Input Shaper within a month. Okay. Like, it's I don't know, it's printing fine. And for reference, I do have a Benchy here that was printed in, what was it, 36 minutes on the Bamboo using the stock profile, PLA profile, 100% speed at speed Benchy setting, so 0.25 layer height. This is 0.3, so if you can do a little comparison afterwards. It's different filament though. Was this an assembled machine? Yes, the only machines they are shipping right now are assembled. Would I get a personal one for myself, because this is a loaner from a local fan, I will be building it. So. Stepper is not on step 6, rarely need cooling. Yeah, it depends how hard you're pushing them. That's one of the reasons I prefer step stick or like drivers built into controller boards. Mark IV P1P. That depends. Is your machine going to be in a living space? Like, are you going to be in around your printer or in the same room as the printer? If so, I would not get a Bamboo machine. They're too loud. Are you a business? P1P and X1 have Wi-Fi. They require Wi-Fi to update them and to use the machine fully. Network security is a huge thing in businesses nowadays. Is that something you're willing to risk? This has Wi-Fi. It's a removable module. And otherwise it's got Ethernet too, which the P1P doesn't have. If you're looking for just one machine that's going to be in a room by itself, yeah, P1P probably makes a bit more sense, especially at its cost. But again, there's not one machine for everyone. It depends on your situation. What do I think about the price? The price is the price is the price. I'm not a businessman. You're not a businessman. Actually, you might be a businessman or businesswoman. But this is a fully EU built and sourced machine in-house at Prusa compared to the Bamboo machines and other Asian market machines. They cost less to build. It's just cheaper over there. And then there's all kinds of stuff that I won't really go into because it's not provable, but there's other stuff. But we're not going to get into that on the stream. I don't bad talk the Prusas all the time. I use them. The stupid little Voron doodler that I printed was printed on my Bamboo. It's just I do have some thoughts about the machine and the company, because not everything is black and white. Knowing that everyone is printing, how safe is that an employee can do whatever? Yeah, like I'm very hesitant. I really don't like the cloud thing. I don't like network. I'm very hesitant. I don't put their app on my phone, for example. Like even Anchormate with their app, I would not put that on my phone. Because here's the thing, it's not what they might do with my info. It's what somebody who hacks them might do with my info. That's what I don't like. So, the 5-set kits from AliExpress. I've built a Trident using one of their kits. Hardware-wise, it was fine. The fans sucked, though, and they all died. And I did build one of their Prusa mini clones, and the extruder was horrible on it. But otherwise, hardware-wise, fine. What is the most used printer? It's a toss-up between my V2.4 R2 and my Bamboo X1 Carbon with the AMS right now. You got the DJI app? Nope. And I've jailbroken my DJI headsets. Any idea how the build process is for a Prusa kit? I don't know. They don't have the kits yet. Joe assures me that it's going to be a very good build process, though. So Anchor doesn't have it. Yeah. If all you care about is high quality, tiny parts that have great surface finish and PLA plus, what should I get, an X1 or a Mark IV? Okay, I can't suggest this printer because, like, my brother in Christ, this is the very first print I'm doing on it, and it's not even done yet. When this is done, I will be able to compare a Benchy printed at the stock settings on a Bamboo on its stock PLA profile with the stock settings on a Prusa. So at least we'll have a comparison. But until then, I can't say which one or the other because this machine has been known to us for a week and I'm not even done its first print. Do I have a V01? I do, and I've got a V02 back there. Prusa kit, 8 hours. That makes sense. I'm assuming a Mark IV kit will be pretty much the same as a Mark III. A few deviations, but like mechanically, it's an improved Mark III. And I think the Mark III was 2 or 3 build streams on my channel. Two to build it and 1 to play with it. Do you personally prefer the Bamboo over your other Prusa printer? Okay, I have a Mark III. I don't use it too often unless I need it for demonstration purposes. For what I use my printers for, the Bamboo makes more sense. But I'm also printing a lot of multi-material, multi-color stuff is pretty much what that X1 does mostly. And they're in a room by themselves in the basement. And even then, I can hear that machine upstairs. when it's printing. Last night when I was printing this the other day, every time I did a filament change, I'm upstairs on my computer playing Elden Ring with a headset, and I knew every time it made a filament change. So if noise is something you need to worry about, yeah. What headphones were you using? My Hedamames, actually. I daily drive the Hedamames. How much print time is left? 45%. I think cooling is going to be a problem. Well, it's got better cooling than a single 4010 because it's a 5010. The Benchy that they printed in 20 minutes looked fine. So I'm assuming it's got enough cooling. It's an open air printer too. And I'm assuming the big thing that's going to be printed on is PLA and PTG. I'm surprised you're using bamboo, leaving it on its own after what you found. Well, they fixed the they fixed the thermal runaway. It's because American houses are built out of wood. Canadian houses too. And this is because I don't have any Prusa. This is just the PLA. But it's printing pretty good. Like, let me take my headphones out. Yeah, you do hear the motors more than I would say some other machines, but that's because the fans aren't as loud, I think. Like, I think that's a big thing, is the fans themselves aren't as loud. How can I manually focus this thing? No jam sessions with the OSCI tone. No, the little guy got his hands on it and broke it. Oh, David's here. Hi, David. Did you get your Mark IV yet? I mean, it looks like a Benchy. Which one is my favorite? My V2.4 R2. Like, I will fully admit to being biased towards Vorons because I'm on the Voron team. How long is the umbilical to the control box? That long. So you got this one going there, you got a bed one, and you got this one. Fans Noctua? I don't know about this fan, but the part cooling fan is a Delta. I don't know about the hot end fan. What happened to the LTT bottle? It's upstairs. I'm just drinking G Fuel. Or Gamer Subs, sorry. Dustin, $5. Cheers. Please, Dueler Pen, how I want it. I do have the files for it that are like really hacky because it was like ripped out of a CAD that was kind of really done quickly. Maybe I'll throw them up. Does the Mark IV have a zoned heat bed? No, it does not. That was one of the things that I kind of assumed it would have. It doesn't. It uses the same bed as the Mark III. I guess at the size it makes more sense, especially on those segmented beds have a ton of wires. Which is okay when it's moving slow in the Z, but moving fast in the Y. So yeah, I think the only parts of this that carry over one-to-one with the Mark III, the bed, not the frame. So the bed, the extrusions, and the front and back plate. And maybe the power supply and the 8mm rods. And bearings and screws and whatever. Other than that, it's all new. Because the frame is cast. So this frame is, what is that? That's 6mm there. And a little over, yeah, almost 10mm thick there. Whereas the Mark III frame is 6mm all around. So this frame is 6 mil here, and then the verticals are 10 mil thick. So it's thicker, and it's got hexagons in the back, which are the bestagons. So, and the bed carriage itself is now die cast. And also, I don't know how good you can see it, but the bed actually rides on, instead of the spacers, you got these little clip things that allow it to expand. Like, so when the bed expands, it's not bowed or anything. Does it come with a tool? Yep, there's a tool head board behind. There's like a plastic shroud, but it's behind a tool. There is a tool head board in here. What's different? I've listed it earlier. You can go on Prusa's site. I have a link in the description to the Prusa website. Full disclosure, that is an affiliate link, but I don't link to the Mark IV directly. So if you do want to buy anything from Prusa and help out the channel, there is an affiliate link in the description. But they do have a blog post that I think it lists all. I think they have a chart, actually. Let me see if they, I think they have a chart. Yeah, here you go. So here you go. So Mark III, Mark IV. So 32-bit board versus an 8-bit. Still 2130s. I really want to know why they didn't go with 2209s. I'm sure there's a reason. 0.9 steppers versus 1.8 MMU3 support. They got a tool head board, filament path. It's all fully constrained in a metal tube, so that's nice. So there's no PTFE between the extruder and the hot end. It's a fully constrained metal tube versus you have that little space there, which will be really good on retracts and hopefully prevent the jamming issue that people have with the MMU units. You got the neck extruder, so better drive gear. It's geared versus direct drive on the Mark III. You got your load cell. Off by one design, $10. Cheers. What do you think of Infinite Z print mill style printers? They're a neat idea for those that can take advantage of them. However, a lot of stuff designed for FDM is designed with layer lines going in one direction. And when you print certain things on a belt printer, the prints are just not structurally sound. But for like big cosmetic things like swords and whatnot, or if you want to do custom crown molding, it makes sense. It's a tool in your toolbox that you may or may not need. Quicker swap nozzle, better screen, much better firmware. So it does like automatic bed meshing in only the area the print is. One-click printing. Yeah. So when you put an SD card in, it automatically loads up the newest G-code file and like, do you want to print? And you can hit yes. So you don't have to like go and find it. So that's nice. Input shaper, yes. Soon. It's not out yet. Filament sensor is better than the IR one. It's got a Hall effect one. It's got the load cell sensor for bed probing, all the other sensors there. Power panic, I'll test that at some point. It's got Ethernet built in. It's got built-in Wi-Fi. Prusa Link is integrated. You can use USB drives instead of SD cards. So yeah. What's the best way to check belt tension? I kind of just eyeball it. I've never done like the whole use like something to measure the resonance or whatever. I just kind of get a feel for how tight belts should be and go with it. I will say most people over tighten their belts though. Are there third-party 32-bit boards? I mean, technically you could put any, it's a 3D printer. All the hardware is the same. They're all NEMA 17s and the heaters are all the same type. So you could throw an SKR and you could take a Mark III and throw an SKR in here any day. You can't. There's nothing stopping you. Thoughts on getting replacement daughter boards for the XL years from now? I have no... With Prusa's track record, I would say you're probably not to worry. I mean, you could still get parts for Mark IIIs, and that's a 5-year-old machine. So I fully expect Prusa to have a 5-year plan with all their machines. No, this does not have independent Z. It does not. They do the tramming thing to the top. So this does not have independent Z. That's one of the things I would have liked to see that it doesn't have. Again, though, this machine is... Yes, it's a bed slinger, but it's a relatively compact, sturdy bed slinger. So you can push it big. It's not no 400 by 400 CR10 monstrosity built out of, like, you know, aluminum extrusions riding on old rollerblade wheels. This thing actually is relatively solid. So you can probably move it pretty quick. Like, they were doing 8K excels, 200 millimeters a second for a speed benchy. So the whole not having independent Z, I would have liked to see it, but it probably does just fine without it. It's probably not, you know, for the increased cost and complexity, it may just not be worth it. Do I prefer Core XY? I prefer Core XY personally, but that's just, you know, me. Nothing against bed slingers. Like, when I worked in a tool shop, the biggest, most expensive CNC machines we had that did the most precise work, the beds moved on them. It's fine if the bed moves, as long as you design the machine right. No motion system is perfect. They all have downsides. It's how you compensate for those downsides that matters. And one of them is don't make massively oversized bed slingers and really floppy frames. Yes, they still ran the rods in the top. That's the first thing it did during the Z calibration. Mark IV versus bamboo. Depends on what you need the machine to do. Are you looking for just one really fast machine that's going to be in a room by itself? Maybe the bamboo. Do you need a machine that's going to be in a living space that you care more about open source and potential long-term and not worried about Wi-Fi security? Mark IV. It depends. I have both. Would you recommend to reprint some of the printed parts and other materials? If you were going to enclose this, I would say reprint the parts in ABS or ASA, personally. Just because if you're going to enclose the printer, over time, PETG will creep. If you're going to leave it open air, I wouldn't bother. The parts themselves, like, the parts themselves on this, yeah, they're PETG, but they're relatively blocky, chunky parts, right? You don't have the big AB motor mounts that like a Voron has, where you have those thin, long parts where flex is more of an issue. These parts are relatively stocky, so PETG and the little bit of more flex with PETG isn't as huge an issue. Yeah, you can't live adjust Z. I think you can. Can you still live adjust Z? Let me check. Tune, print speed, flow, sound. I think there is a way to live adjust Z. Nozzle temperature, print speed. Yeah. Sub 20 minute. No, we're not doing a sub 20 minute benchy. How did they manage the Toolhead problem? Is the load cell in the Toolhead custom or some class? I'm assuming it's custom. It's part of their design, and it's one of the reasons they couldn't use like a Revo and they went with their own hot end design. Load cells have historically been a little finicky. We played with them with Voron ages ago, and we never went with it because it was just not worth it. But I think we had them in the bed. Mirage C, $10. Cheers. How is the surface quality so far? Once the print's done, I'll pull it off, but it's looking like a boat. A single large gear with straight cut teeth might be the best recipe for consistent extrusion. Yeah, I'm no joke. I'm waiting for. I'm sure this type of extruder will be available on its own. The only problem is, for those wanting to slap this extruder in like a Voron, the filament feed path is offset. That's the only downside. Is the filament feed path is offset. So. Firmware can do live adjust Z, but it's currently not enabled. Okay. I mean, the first layer on this was pretty much perfect, so, and it just ran out of the box. E3D is a supplier. Yep, the E3D is still the supplier. They're still working with them. Would be cool to throw an ADXL. So it doesn't ship with Oh, I can't. English. Was buried down in the menus during, yeah. That could be fixed by rotating it 90 degrees, I guess. It's been the biggest pieces. Yeah. Every time I mention like cheap printers and I'm like, yeah, try and avoid them if you can. I get a flood of comments and a flood of comments going, this machine has made me so angry about 3D printing, and then I get an equal amount of, oh, the machine works just great for me. Accelerometer, that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, it doesn't ship with an accelerometer. There is a plug for connecting one, but it doesn't ship with one. The question is it compatible with an 80XL? Because if it's compatible with an 80XL, you can just buy one off the shelf and just make a wire harness for it. Like why would they go through the trouble of making a custom one if you could just use an off the shelf one? But I'm assuming the resonance testing for most of these machines is going to be near the same. Because here's the thing. With input shaper, the more accurate you are, the better your outcome is. So if you want to input shape your machine as it runs. So if you're going to be running your machine on a bench that's bolted to the wall, you don't want to input shape it on a wobbly table because it'll be different. However, and I've tested this, while you do get different values, I've done an input shaper on this bench and then I moved the machine over there on a different bench that's more robust and I reran input shaper. You do get different values, but a lot of the time it's kind of like within margin of error difference, if not a little bit more. And odds are you'll probably never notice the difference. So I could see them having like a default input shape for this that's just the generic one that just applies across the board. And yeah, if you built your machine yourself and your belts are a little looser or a little tighter, or you have it on a really wobbly bench, you might have slightly different results, but you're still going to be in the ballpark and you're still going to be better than a machine without input shaper at all. And for those that want to go all out and fully tune their machine, because they're the people that they absolutely 100% print quality is all they're after, buy this $10 dongle and do it yourself, because it's a more advanced thing. I could see them going that way with the input shape. Kind of like pressure advance. A lot of time you can just kind of set it and forget it and you're good enough. What's the benefit of a Mark IV? Much quieter, open source. If you're a business or a school, you don't have to worry about network security issues as much. It depends on your market and what you're looking to get out of the machine. Like, Bamboo is still a new company and they're still on their first generation of product. Are they going to get better? Are they going to get worse? Are they going to be around in 10 years? There is something about track record to consider. There is something about track record to consider. What color are the LEDs? They're still blue. They're still blue. For high temp materials, which printer do you recommend? Mark IV or P1P? I think they're both limited to 2 or to 300. Okay, so yeah, so 300C. So both are going to be able to do up to 300 default. Actually, can the Bamboos do 500? They can't because they have silicone socks. Anything with a silicone sock is going to be limited to 300. I wouldn't push a Bamboo to 500. But up to 300, they'll both be able to print it. However, the P1P is probably easier to enclose, unless you just want to put a cardboard box on this, which you might be able to. People will be like, hey, YouTuber, tell me which printer I should buy. Like, that's why I don't like answering that question, because there are so many variables. Like, are you a school? If you're a school, Prusas have certifications. A lot of the time you need a UCL, ULA, EU has a ton of certifications you need. If you're a school or a business, this makes a heck of a lot more sense than this, just because of that reason alone, especially schools, right? And why do you think they sell the Prusa enclosure with a lock on the door? That's for schools. then you have the network security thing you got to worry about. There's, but if you're just, you know, I just want one machine that goes stupid fast and I don't care about noise, yeah, Bamboo makes more sense for you. It really depends on what you're, look at, okay, good example. Linus, LTT, okay, Linus Tech Tips. Not that they've had any network security issues lately. They have in their lab area, they have 2 or 3 Bamboo machines, and one of them is hooked up to a full bank of AMS units for 16 color. Because when they're prototyping stuff, they need to do low volume, quick turnaround, okay? So, and with a bunch of different colors. So for their use case, the Bamboo machines make sense, okay? But if you were like a school and you needed a bunch of machines for engineering students so that you can just make something, they design something, they print it overnight, they come in the next day and they see what they made, a Prusa makes a bit more sense there. It really depends on your specific use case and what you're looking to get out of the machine. There is no one machine for everyone, and anyone who tells you that is a fool. So. My friend said the most important quality printer is that it's delivered before the end of summer. Well, if they ordered the XL, or correction, the Mark IV, what is the Mark IV up to? 6 to 7 weeks. When they put it up, they said they had several hundred units ready to go. And they can make about 100 a day, a couple thousand a week. And they're on almost 2 months now. I'm pretty sure they sold quite a few Mark IVs. The Prusa is dead meme is dead, I think. They have moved a decent amount of units, methinks. They did have the Mark III at one point before the lab. Yeah, they had a bunch of Mark IIIs, and I think most of the Mark IIIs are now in the hands of people doing the AMD or Intel upgrade challenge. I know LTT got the email thing. It wasn't a network thing, but yeah. Just it's, you know, a little spice on it. But speaking of spice, we give away a spool of filament every stream, so make sure you go down to the video description and enter for your chance to win a spool of Polymaker filament. Jinso, that was broken in a tweet. No, what was broken with the email? So what happened was, it happened to Stefan. They ordered the printer and it said like 2 to 3 day shipping, but when they got the email said like a much longer time scale. The email was broken. The site is correct. So if you order one now, it's 6 to 7 weeks for it to ship. So if they're making several thousand of these and they can make up to 100 a day, and it's 6 to 7 weeks, that's, you know, that's a decent amount of machines they're pumping out. So, yeah. Like, I don't have exact numbers, but somebody could do the math. If you're doing 100, if you're doing 100 machines a day at best, a couple thousand a year or a couple thousand a week, I'm assuming you got weekends. So they're probably making 500 to 700 machines a week. We'll go on the low end, 500. So that's 2,000 a month. They already shipped out a couple hundred. So that's at least 5,000 machines, maybe. Yeah, 5K machines. And I'm assuming that's might be on the low end. Because weren't they moving at one point like 9,000 Mark IIIs? Are the clips on the bed? No, they are not printed. The bed itself is, the clips underneath are metal. And then the little tabs that hold the bearings on are also metal. The new spec. I showed them off earlier, but if you want to see them. So they allow the bed to kind of expand a bit. Mark III, it's worth. It depends on what you need it to do. Would a happy man if you only had a Mark II? I mean, like, it depends what I need it to do. Mark II is a little old, though. Can the rods and bearings be replaced? Yeah. Yeah, you can replace the rods and bearings. I'm actually surprised they didn't go with rails. Honestly, that's kind of like one of my biggest, like, is they stuck with the rods and bearings, which V-wheels suck. Rods and bearings are better. Rails are the best, in my opinion. But the gap from V-wheels to rods and bearings is a much bigger leap than rods and bearings to rails. And I'm actually really impressed with how compact they got this tool head down. Because the problem with rods and bearings is you have to like envelop the bearing to properly secure versus just, you know, screwing it to the carriage on a rails. And they did a pretty bang up job there. So, oh, we're almost done. 2 minutes left. Plus, remember, they also have to make XLs, and they also have to make, I'm sure they're still selling Mark IIIs. So, I'm sure there's going to be a little bit before they can go full in on Mark III production. Or Mark IV production. Still a PCB bed? Yep. The bed is unchanged. It's still a Mark 52 bed. So when this print is done, what we're going to do, we're going to take a little bit of this apart to do a little exploring, just to see what we're looking at. So I want to take a look at the controller, and I want to take one of these off so we can take a look at the bearing to see what brand it is. Got to do Voron switch wire versus Mark IV. The switch wire would probably, I will say a switch wire probably would beat it. Just in sheer, it's faster, and it's running Clipper and it's got input shaper, but it's a full custom machine that you build yourself versus this, which you can buy out of the box. I don't use my switch wire that much, put it that way. So it's still very not flat bed. I don't know how flat it is. I mean, you want flat bed, throw Mike 6 on it. Like, I have no issues getting, I would say you should not have any issues getting a good first layer on this. The spacers themselves should allow the bed to expand more uniformly, so you shouldn't get bowing or buckling compared to the Mark III. And I think you may be able to like tension it more or less than others and maybe get a little bit more flatness out of it, maybe. I don't know for sure. Can I do the perfect first layer? Yeah, we can do that. That's going to take a while, though. Which printer is my daily driver? My Voron V2. You don't want to sling a Mike 6 bed. Well, there you go. Everything has a downside. You want a super flat bed, it's going to be heavy. And if it's going to be heavy, you're not going to move it fast. And we're done. Okay, go up all the way so I can clear that. So the light is green now. Okay, print finished 100%. Okay. Did it give me a time? I don't know what time that is. Okay. So yeah, it's still the Mark. Does the bed say anything different? Magnetic heat bed 42. Yeah, it's the same bed. It's the exact same bed. Yeah, the bed's exactly the same. Bow is clean. Actually, which one did I print here? Oh, I printed the 1 hour one. I printed the 1 hour one, not the coarse one. Yeah. I thought this was the coarse one. Oh well. This was the 1 hour one. And that is a good first layer. So for comparison, here is a bamboo one printed at the default settings. And this was Speedbenchy layer height though. So 0.25, 2 walls, 15% infill. So this is a off the bamboo X1 in PLA. So there's the bamboo. And here's the Prusa. different filaments, so, and it's not 1-to-1, and this is 0.2 versus 0.25, but still. But look at that first layer. Look how clean that first layer is. That is a dang good first layer. I'm trying to find the seam. Where is the seam at in this? Okay, look at the smokestack. There it is. Okay, there's the seam. Can you see the seam on the smokestack? And there's the top, if you want to see the top. Little bit of under extrusion in those corners there. Bamboo for reference. Yeah, it's a lot more over extruded on these top layers on the bamboo. Again, default settings. So yeah. It's a plastic boat. You've seen one, you've seen them all. Okay. Control. Move axis. Move Z. Okay. Plug that. Yeah, it's not apples to apples. Here's the thing, I can't do apples to apples because I can't push this, like, I don't have the firmware to push this machine as fast. I do a TPU. Well, first we want to take a look under the hood and see what we got in here. Use my handy dandy LTT store screwdriver for this. Hopefully don't break anything because again, this is not my machine. Scott, the Mark IV is a heck of a lot more hackable. Oh, hell yeah. You are not hacking. The bamboo machine is fully locked down. Is fully locked down. You are not getting into that thing. There's no USB. There's no, as far as I'm aware, there's no available UART. The bootloader is locked down and it's running Spintrol MCUs, which are the same DJI uses. So the bamboos, you are not modifying the firmware on, although it has been dumped. Oh, that's a lot better. That is a lot better. Okay, so we got our Wi-Fi module here. So let's take a look at this Wi-Fi module. So the Wi-Fi module, it's an ESP15. So here's your Wi-Fi module. So that is just an ESP15. It just plugs into the back there. And it's got a little cover to cover it. So if you are a person who, you know, like our friend Grant from 3D Musketeer, who does contract print jobs and occasionally has to print stuff that's ITAR compliant, with this machine, you undo one screw, you pull this out, and you make sure you don't plug in an Ethernet wire. Boom, it's fully air gapped. So, you know, if your company does stuff that you really don't want getting public, that is a thing. Not everyone needs that feature, but for those that need that feature, they're going to be buying this machine or Mark III, or, you know, an Ender 3. So, it's going to be slow for the Wi-Fi. Probably. I'm going to set up the Wi-Fi now, hopefully. So we got the Prusa X buddy board. Revision 0.2.7 from 2021. Okay, so this is the board I've seen. We got replaced fuses. It's a lot cleaner. There's your drivers. So I'm assuming that's there. Yeah, these are heat sunk. So if you look on the back, you can see this divot and this divot, which is where these three drivers are and this driver. So they are using the metal case. I'm assuming there's probably like a thermal pad. They are using the metal case as the heat sink for the drivers. And for the arm, it's an STM 32F427. That's clipper compatible. Although I'm pretty sure you're gonna have to cut something in here. Yeah, you gotta cut something to modify the firmware. So you're gonna have to void the warranty to modify the firmware on it, like the Prusa Mini. But yeah, it's clipper compatible. Drivers of MOSFETs. The drivers are heat sunk. Just the drivers are heat sunk. The Wi-Fi module is an ESP15. 32-bit. Yeah, it's an STM32. And more hexagons. This actually some good weight to this. It looks a heck of a, like, it looks solid. 64-bit. I don't think we need 64-bit. Like, you can slap clipper on a ramps and push it as fast as most 32-bit processors, so. But that's, you know, clipper. That's what clipper does. The MCU don't matter as much, but if you're running everything off the MCU, then yeah, the MCU matters. So I really want to print the large, there's a model for like a rocket ship engine. It's like a 13-hour print. I'm going to print that overnight though. Okay, so that is that. The power supply. I don't know. I think it's the same power supply. Yeah, power supply is the same. Power supply is the same as the Mark III. Bearings. Let's take a look at the bearings. Where's the magnet at? Are these non-magnetic? Ah, they use non-magnetic screws. Dang it. And again, for those that don't know, the motors are LDO motors. Okay, let's see. How can I pop this off? I should be able to just pop this off. Or is that really tight in there? Oh yeah, that's really tight. Try not to break it. This isn't my printer. Oh yeah, this is snapped around the bearing, that's why. Okay. Yeah, it's like press fit onto the bearing, that's why. Come on. Come on. There we go. Ah, shoot, come on. There we go. Okay. Okay, so this is, yeah, they got a little bit of pad in there. The bearings are unlabeled. Bearings are unlabeled. And the wipers just say LMU10. LMU10. No brand name on them. No brand name on them. They're just unlabeled. Oh yeah, those are solid though. 70 megabit. 70 megabits fine. All you're doing is transferring G code and making sure and getting status updates. So that's no name bearing. They could just be white labeled. Like, here's the thing. I can't say they're bad. I can't say they're good because who knows? Like, they seem fine. Like, I'm pretty sure they're using the same bearings they used before. Misumi as earlier. Here, Misumi doesn't make bearings. They resell, and they use THK bearings, or at least they used to. But with current world supply of stuff, I have no idea what they're using now. Okay, so that's that. Can we pop this cover off? How does this cover off? I can't get that. So this just moves like this. This is... Fan is a Delta 50... I don't know. It's a 50 something. Oh, let's check this fan. Okay, so the heat's, okay, so this fan is it's another Delta. Yeah, so it's Delta fans for both. 5 volt? Yeah, they're both 5, and they're both 5 volt fans too. And the heat sink is the same as the Mini, it looks like. So it looks like it's or at least it's a derivative of the Mini heat sink. So there you go. So they're both Delta fans. Oh, yeah, let me turn the music back on. When did I turn the music off? When I was printing, eh? There we go. So yeah. It doesn't come with IGUS. That's a common mod, and I don't think that's a mod worth doing, but that is a common mod. Mirage D, $15. Cheers. Vez is here? Oh, hey, Vez. I'm not going to take the hot end itself out. You just undo these 2 screws and it just comes out. But I'm not going to do that because I got filament in it. And yeah. And then also, if you want to see the filament path, if you need to get at it, flip that up. Boom. There's your large extruder gear with the dual rollers in there. And you can't adjust the tension. So that is that. Neat. Okay, let's get it powered back up. Let's connect it to the Wi-Fi. So let's go through I've never set up Prusa Connect. Is Prusa Connect built into... Is it a separate app that I have to download? Or a separate program I have to download? Delta fall down from Noctua? Kobish, hell no. Deltas make a heck of a lot more sense on a printer. Noctuas are shit when it comes to static pressure. They can't force air. And when you're trying to force air through ducting and through a heat sink, really close in a really small area, Deltas make a hell of a lot more sense. There's a reason they use Delta fans in servers instead of Noctuas. Web UI only for Prusa Connect. Okay, Prusa Connect's a web UI? Really? Okay. So I don't want to show any of my personal info, and try not to dox myself or this printer serial number. Network, Prusa Link, Prusa Connect. So do I want to do Prusa Link or Prusa Connect? Wi-Fi, set up Wi-Fi module. To set up, okay, so let me use my phone. It's got a little QR code here. Okay. Connect is over the cloud. Okay, cool. That just brought me to Prusa.com. Okay. Okay. Well, Joe, if you're still here, don't work. It just bring the QR code just brings me to the Prusa.com website. So Prusa.io/Wi-Fi Mk4. And that just, okay, so that's not set up yet. The website ain't there yet. Okay, so let's YOLO this. Okay, continue. So I want to continue to flash the ESP firmware. Okay, cool. Flash or make sure the ESP is set up. Okay, so yeah, I'm setting up the Wi-Fi right now. Rotate the screen. Is it okay? So we're gonna do the Wi-Fi and then we'll just get another print going. Short one, and then what I'll do is overnight I'm gonna print the rocket ship, because this one right here, I want to print this. And I think I have some filament for it. We'll see what we got. Okay, so we're updating the Wi-Fi module. Do not turn off. Okay, continue. Config detected on the USB overwrite current file. Yes. Success remove the drive, edit the file in the PC. Okay, so let me put that in. Prusa printer settings. Oh, okay, so I put my Wi-Fi info in here. And passcode. File save. Okay. Get that out of that. Plug this back in. It's connected. Okay. Okay, we're good. Continue. Uploading config to printer. Please wait. I would normally show the screen, but I don't want to, because in case I don't want to leak my Wi-Fi info. Success. Please wait until the connection is established. If nothing happens after 5 to 8 minutes. Oh, okay. Connection established. Good. I don't want to wait 5 to 8 minutes. Okay, continue. Okay, so that's the Wi-Fi. There's my address. Okay, Prusa Connect is the Wi-Fi, right? Prusa Connect. Enable. Add printer to connect. Where is Prusa Connect? Do you have to download Prusa Connect? Prusa Connect. Prusa Connect. From your browser. Okay. Password is password. I know you can see the screen, but I don't have anything on it. And I have this here, and I don't think you guys can fully see that. Okay, add printer to connect. Oop, ah. What happened? Oh. Okay, settings, network, Prusa Connect, enable no config, add printer to connect. Oh, Prusa is, oh, okay, leave. So what is it? You want link. Okay, Prusa link. Prusa link. Okay. Enable. Okay, so I got a password and whatever. Okay. So how do I add it to Prusa link? I thought it was Prusa Connect. There's Prusa Connect right here. What is Prusa link? Oh, so I need, okay, so let me, I need the Wi-Fi, or the, okay, so let me connect to this. Oh, you just type in the IP address. Okay, cool. Okay, so Prusa link, so that is maker, and oh my god, that's a lot of letters. Why is this password so long? Sign in. Dang it. Okay. Generate password. Okay. Try this again. Serial number will show up. Okay, I'll try to avoid that. Aha. Okay, there we go. So add file. Okay, so let's can you add a webcam? So I think you can. I don't know if you can do it now, but I think they showed you can put a an IP cam in. Somebody was showing they were showing a webcam. So now I need to print, let's do my cube. Let's do the Neuro cube at, not music. Let's do the Neuro cube at core settings. 3D, 3D models. So let's do the Neuro cube. 0.4 nozzle. We want to do draft settings. Slice now. Export G code. So I'm going to save this to my prints. Save. Open folder. So this is uploading a file that is 2 megabytes. So there's the speed, and we are not. This is the speed limited by the controller. So it's not the fastest for transferring, but it is what it is. Okay. So storage. 3D Benchy. Neuro cube. Okay, so you can see all the files that are already on it, and it generates a little. So there's the filament guide. There's the keychain. There's my cube. There's the robot alpaca, and there is the rocket. So we'll do my cube now. Start print. Action cannot be performed. Why not? Action cannot be performed. Why can it not be performed? Oh, maybe because I'm in the wrong menu. Return. Start print. Okay, you have to be on the home page apparently. Okay, it's heating up. There we go. gives you print time, last modified, estimated time. There's your temperatures, there's your print speed, there's current Z height. That's not bad. That's actually not bad. The only thing that would be nice, I really wish you could add an IP cam to this, because obviously you're not going to run a camera off the hardware on here. But if you can add an IP cam, you could add you could buy ESP32 cameras. They're not the greatest, but they're cheap and they got built-in Wi-Fi. So you would just, you know, print something to hold an ESP32. You just feed it 5 volts off something, USB-C, for example. And then you would just pull it into here and you'd be off to the races. It's basic, but it's built into it. It comes with it. And something I've been saying for a while, modern printers, if you don't have a web interface that includes with your printer and it's like a modern printer, you need to sort that shit out. You should have Wi-Fi connectivity, network connectivity should be standard. Not a fan of cloud. I know we're moving towards cloud. I'm not a fan of cloud. I want to be able to run my printers fully within my own network without talking to the cloud. A more powerful ESP on the 32. Here's the thing, like yes, it sucks that it's a little slow. Like, I don't get me wrong, I'd rather it be faster, but all that's really going to affect is your upload. Once the file's actually on the printer, it's there. So yeah, it might take a couple minutes to transfer a big file, but that big file is probably going to take a half a day to a day to print. So 5 minutes is really not much. You can get 5 volts over USB-C. Why 32-bit instead of 64 like the SL1? I don't know. Are there any 3D printers that use 64-bit? It's probably a limitation of the firmware. WiseCam with local RTSP firmware would work too. Yeah, any cheap IP camera basically would work. So we're oozing a bit, and that's good. I want to see how it handles the ooze. So apparently it should stick to the purge line, as Zuza put it. And it does. And now we go print. Do I run my Bamboo printers on LAN only mode? No, OGK Kid, because what's the bloody point if I can't watch the camera on it? And you can't, on LAN only mode, the cameras don't work. I want to be able to monitor my printers and actually monitor them. So unfortunately, I can't run them in LAN only mode because I need to be able to actually see what they're doing. So the trade-off for that is all my prints, video of my print, go through the cloud. That is it's a pretty dang good first layer. I don't know about you guys. That's a spicy first layer. That's a nice first layer. I tuned that first layer perfectly. They actually have so there's little pads in here for the bearings. They actually have like a little vibration dampener between this motor and the frame back here too. No 10-minute calibration. No, remember when we built the Mark III and the calibrations took forever and I didn't know if it was doing anything, but it was because it just took forever. This setup was like done. Best FDM printer, fine detail, dimensional accuracy. Pantone, a resin machine. But in terms of like dimensional accuracy, all 3D printers for the most part use the exact same motors. They use NEMA 17 motors and GT2 belt. So they're all technically going to be the same dimensionally accurate. Yeah, you can play around with the firmware for different microstepping and different drivers, but at the end of the day, all 3D printers should be able to move exactly the same way. You're obviously going to get different speeds and feeds out of different machines, and different extruders are more capable and different hot ends are better. But in terms of mechanical accuracy, you should never be adjusting your E steps for X, Y, Z. If you are, that means your machine is not mechanically sound and not square. Give away this printer at the end of the show. Anton, I can't. This isn't my machine. Somebody lent me this machine to play around with. So unfortunately, I can't lend or give away a machine that's not mine. I'm sure Josh would not appreciate that. Where's the 20-minute bench sheet? On a video on the Prusa site, because that was running beta firmware and I don't have it. But for Friday's stream, it's a print and chill Friday. We could spend the stream dicking around and seeing how fast we could push this. Thinking we might do that on stream. Thinking that's what we're gonna do on the stream Fridays. Just see how fast we can push this thing. Volcano? No, this is a stock nozzle, which you should be able to put a volcano in here if you really wanted to. You would just need to print a new fan shroud. And here's the thing, if you put a volcano in here, you would need the adapter. You would need the V6 adapter, and then you would need volcano nozzles, obviously. You might need a different heater. Thermistor should be fine. You might need a different heater, because I think the heater is vertical in this, and I don't know if it's long enough for a volcano. But you wouldn't need to recalibrate your Z. It would just do it. It's like a Voron. It just, you don't have to redo Z offset ever, because it doesn't have to. So yeah, so Friday's stream, we're gonna dick around with speeds on this thing. We're gonna see how fast we can push it. VFAs? Do we have VFAs in here? I don't know. Focus on the boat. So this is the 0.2 speed profile, stock 0.2 speed profile. I could be again, I'd have to void the warranty to put clipper on it. It's got the PCB's got the controller has the same thing as the Prusa Mini, where you got to snip something on it to be able to install custom firmware. On Prusa Connect, you can add a webcam by scanning a QR code to link to it. Okay, but this is Prusa Link, not Prusa Connect. So. How long did that take? 1 hour. That was a 1 hour benchy. So fun fact, this profile runs high, the course profile runs higher accelerations, but lower speed for infill. But it's 0.3 layer height. How fast? I don't know. We're gonna have to connect this to a computer and see what it says for, there's like a G code command that you, or an M code or whatever, to see what the default accels are limited by firmware. Why would you pay the money for a Prusa and then put clipper on it? Honestly, like, Prusas make more sense to run stock firmware on. Yeah, you could put clipper on it, and who knows, maybe at one point I'll put a Hemera and clipper on the Mark III I got here, but as it is right now, the stock firmware is fine. What's the nozzle size? 0.4. This machine 0.4 makes sense. Anything above 300 bigger, you really should be running a 0.6, really. Like the XL comes with a 0.6. My V2, my 300 V2, I run a 0.6. My 350 Trident has a 0.4, but that's because I have the XG hot in it and I only have 0.4 nozzles for it. How's extrusion consistency? Very consistent. I know, I just did a close-up, scroll back a minute or two, I just did a close-up of a benchy that was printed on it. Can I do a 1 hour benchy on the X1? I mean, I could. Do I have another orange filament? I do not. What do I got in there right now? I can do black. Prepare. Downloads. Benchy. Okay, speed. So generic PLA. So 0.2 layer height. Stock benchy on here is 40 minutes. So the Bamboo stock profiles are fast, but they're not as fast as like speed benchy. Like this is the stock profile for Bamboo on PLA, and this is a 40-minute benchy. So it's 20 minutes, and this adds like 8 minutes for its warm-up time. So this is 20 minutes slower than a Mark IV, or faster than a Mark IV stock profile. So if I run this at 50% speed, I'll just run it at 50% speed. Low calibration, disable, because it's a stupid, annoying, wasteful thing. I'll just run it at 50% speed. 0.25. 0.25 is tiny. If you're printing with a 0.25, get a resin machine. Is there any third-party extruders that use one massive gear? As far as I'm aware, no. I think Prusa's the first. Or if they're not the first, so the first one to actually bring it to market. It's kind of like PI spring steel. I don't think Prusa was the first to do that, but they're the first ones to really implement it widespread. Belt tensioning on the X and Y. It looks similar, but more robust, I think. Like the XY joints look near the same, but they're beefier. So this is on a Mark IV, and this is a Mark III. This is a camera, ignore it. So this is a Mark III. So the XY joints are definitely there's more beef to them. And then same with the tensioning. So the tensioning method is the same, but the blocks are bigger on the Mark IV. So how well does a single side fan duct? It's more than single side. It actually cools from like the side, and if you look at it, it's like, well, here, I can do this. Ready? There. So you can see it's more of like a 180 almost. I like, it's actually kind of nice. You can flip that out of the way. That's actually kind of cool. Which means if it crashes into something when you're printing, it's not going to break, as I said earlier. That's actually nice to have. Oh, the Bamboo's turning on. Palm Delrin? Yeah, they're palm. They're palm for the lead screw nuts. Shit, this is loud. The bed was at the bottom, so of course the Bamboo, when you turn it on at home, it goes right into the bottom. I can hear the fans on it already. Gotta go fast. Let me just turn off the noise canceling for a minute here. So we've been printing with just the Mark IV. I've just fired up the X1. So it's doing a little purge there, because it's going to be in black PLA, because that's all I have loaded in right now. I have silk, but the silk's print slower. So Mark IV is super quiet. It's going to make noise. Any machine moving fast makes noise, especially with stepper motors. You can't avoid it, okay? The Mark IV prints faster than the Mark III, but at the same speeds, it's quieter, because I actually did some printing with the Mark III using the Mark IV profile, and The Mark IV is noticeably quieter than the Mark III at the same speeds, especially the lead screws. The lead screws were not happy moving at Mark IV speeds on a Mark III. Yep, the Bamboo doesn't have stepper drivers. It uses H-bridge. Music? I will in a second here. Yeah, the Bamboo is absurdly loud. Like, again, I was playing Elden Ring last night with headphones on, and I knew when every time this thing made a filament change. And that's my computer room, which is the room above this. You can't put clipper on a Bamboo. You can't. You would have to rip out the Toolhead electronics and it's doing a little Zen thing. You would have to rip out the Toolhead electronics, the controller board, and the screen, and replace the electronics in all of those, because they're all connected, and they're all proprietary. I'm gonna leave that door closed and turn the music back on. So yeah, you're not putting clipper on a Bamboo unless you completely gut it electronically, which really sucks, but it is what it is. Again, DJI. You gotta look at Bamboo machines the same you look at DJI quadcopters. Lockdown. Does the fan part swing into position? I'm assuming it would, unless you had it like that. If you had it like this, it probably would bump into position. But if you had it like all the way out, probably not. But if it was like open a little, it probably would bump into position. Do you like the Mark III or Mark IV better? Mark IV. Mark IV is a big improvement on the Mark III. Got me back into printing after watching your live builds. I'm currently building a 2.4 LDO kit, waiting on the parts for tap. Hopefully my first print in about 3 days. Awesome possum. I have a Mark III in the box. Should I sell and get a Mark IV? Depends how much you can get for it. Oh, an external disturbance was detected in force sensor 1. Cool, ignore. Piezo sensors in the bed in this thing keep tripping. Is there a USB? There is. There is a USB-C in the back and Ethernet. Don't forums have issues with printed frame parts cracking? Nope. I haven't had any issues, and I've got machines that have been running for years. Is the cube file available? It's on printables. It's on printables. Let me pull it up here. Let me get my meager pittance of points here, and let me share it. So there's the Nero 3D calibration cube. There you go. Linked it in chat. I also have a 3D model of me done by Chelsea. We like Chelsea. She did this for me, which I'll probably print this on the Prusa, and then my horrible botch of an SKR Pico mount on the rat rig. The V Minion. Ooh, I'm up to 190 Prusa meters. What can I get for that? Rewards. What can I get for 100? For oh man, nothing. I can get a hat. I want the hat. I need a Prusa hat. Or you get a Prusa Mini for 10,000. Gotta love how everything is gamified now. Everything is gamified. You gotta get points. You gotta get points. Like the smash button. Bigger number, better stream. Oh, it's doing the thing. Oh, the lighter is dirty. Ignore. Layer separation with my PIF parts where the self-tapping screws, so it seems me... Maybe. What do you think about the upcoming revolutionary K1? Yes, the totally original... The totally original, completely brand new, completely self-designed Creality K1. Yeah. At least Bamboo did it first. you're going to be seeing a ton of even Cheaty. Cheaty I have a little bit more respect for. They've been around longer, and they've had decent. I have one of their machines. I don't use it a lot because it just. Oh, here come the fans. Holy shit! There comes the fans. You're going to see a ton of $1,000-ish Core XY enclosed machines over the next little while, and they'll probably all have a little gimmick. LiDAR, for example. Some will probably run Clipper with touchscreens and all kinds of stuff. Expect to see a bunch of them. Bamboo is gonna get competition. I wish you could hack this so that it played a little like, you know how you can make it like it makes noises? If you could make it like quadcopters, okay? Quadcopters, when you plug in a motor, or plug in a, I gotta have a battery. Gotta have a battery. This is a 4S. This is a 4S. Yeah. So when you plug in a quadcopter, right? See how it makes that beeping noise? That noise is actually the motors. Okay. So you know how you can make stepper motors make music? I need this to like have like an engine startup sound. Speak louder. Here, let me put the noise canceling back on. There we go. There we go. There we go. Core XY doesn't instantly make a printer better. Correct. Is the LiDAR useless on the Bamboo? From my experience with it, and also 3D Print General did a video on it, a pretty good video. Basically, as long as you're running good quality filament, the LiDAR is useless. Because the LiDAR basically allows you to compensate for inconsistent filament. But if you're using good filament, it's going to be consistent. So the LiDAR doesn't really need to do anything. I turn it off every time I run a print. I don't want to waste the bed space and waste the time, because this thing already has like a really long startup time. So, yeah. The tower has approved your prospector. So yeah, I really, on this, the LiDAR I think is more gimmicky than anything. Like the P1P doesn't have it and they print the same. So it's not LiDAR. Correct, it's not LiDAR. It's not true LiDAR. It doesn't send out a laser and bounce it back and like measure the timing, kind of like radar. It basically has laser and a webcam, and it just looks at it like basically a variance. Can you give a hint of the new project? Yeah, it's right here. It's called the Stealth Doodler. It's a project with E3D. So we have the official E3D Revo at focus. Focusy fuck. So we got official E3D Revo there. And yeah, so it's battery powered, and this will allow you to print your stuff by hand. What's better, Clicky Probe or Voron Tap? Voron Tap. I really like Voron Tap. The X2 Carbon will have silent drivers and LiDAR. Sweet. So pretty much how the machine should have been from the beginning. Bamboo even says not to use LiDAR with the texture PI plate. Yep. A bit late to the stream, but did you talk about who is the target audience? I have. I'll summarize it near the end of stream. I'll talk about like my thoughts on this machine and whatever. Because again, this is not a review. Do not call what we're doing today a review. This is an unboxing and first impression. And I'm hoping to do a video on this for this weekend. So I'm basically just gonna print on this nonstop until Friday and then film a video. So that video will be an initial impression video, not a review. The machine's not even done yet. There's no input shaper on it yet. Even the Bamboo machines are still continuously updated and stuff changes on them. So it's hard to review something in a short time span. So anyone who comes out with a Prusa Mk4 review in the next like week or two, it's not a review, it's initial impressions. You can't review something that quick, especially a 3D printer. So Raspberry Pi compatibility. It should be compatible with the Raspberry Pi if you want to. Right now, though, we are using the built-in Prusa link, which is a lot more bare bones, obviously, but it's functional. It's functional. I have an spare Ender 3 Pro. Is it doable, useful to rebuild it to a switch wire? Sure, why not? LiDAR is also used for bed leveling as far. I don't know why, because it has piezo sensors in the bed. So it does the same nozzle probe thing that like the Mark IV does, or the Vorons do, where you use the nozzle and a sensor to pick up the bed exactly. Bamboo is offering a voucher for the P1P camera if you purchase without it. Thoughts on the beacon? It's a really fast inductive probe. So if you're running a setup that can use an inductive probe and you want it to do it fast, get a beacon. What are we at anyways for, let me refresh everything, because my stats have been frozen. Well, how many people do we have right now? I have no idea. How many people are watching this stream? Oh shit, we're almost at 700 likes. Like the smash button. And make sure you enter for the draw. We give away a spool of filament at the end of every stream. So make sure you enter for that. Reviewer or not, I think it's reasonable to assume the Mark IV is at least, yeah, it's a Mark III. It's an improved Mark III. That's why it's the Mark IV. Optical is so much better than using damn micro switches. I hate changing them out using clicky. Yeah, the optical switch, I do have, this came in. I didn't watch Steve stream on it, but I do have the Chaotic Lab tap thing. So I'll be putting this in probably the LDO machine at some point in the near future. Don't know exactly when, but at some point. And this has a micro switch built into it. I'd rather it have optical, but it is what it is. I also have, they also sent me a full set of carbon fiber brackets. So we're going to be rebuilding the gantry on that at some point. So that'll be in the bit. That will be in a bit. Let me just double check. We are running at 50% speed. Temperature. Yeah, we're running at 50% speed. And it's estimating a little over an hour. Is Doggo near? Let me check. Coda. Nope. No, Doggo. It's an optical micro switch. Okay. A bed slinger. What year is it? It is 2023. Auto bed leveling like on the post. Oh, wait a second. Does your CNC tap wiggle like the ones posted? I don't know, because I haven't actually been following anything about this. What do you mean wiggle? Like, actually, it's got a bit of a wiggle to it. It does have a bit of a wiggle. Oh yeah, it's got a wiggle to it. I don't know if you can see it. I can feel it. It's got a bit of a wiggle to it. Left to right wiggle. Loose rail. Yep. That ain't good. Check the bad news. Okay. They have MGN7 in there. That's why we didn't use MGN7. Let me see what bad news said. In the tap channel. We're restricting some messages due to a potential message raid. What? Remove restrictions? Confirm. What's going on Discord? Where's Voron tap dev? Oh wait, no, that's the dev tap. Don't go in the dev chat. Don't leak that. Voron tap. There we go. There we go. A short op-ed from Bad Noob regarding Kayak Labs, CNC and Voron tap. Just make sure everyone's clear on the relationship. I want to see more people making commercial, and Kayak did their CNC tap based on our cab, but they didn't talk to any of us who I'm aware of. Yep, they did it on their own. No one Voron spoke on. I'm not one hand, but seeing the same thing you're all seeing. Some of the design changes they made are great. Some will have questions on. I'm concerned they may not have understood the design of tap before they modified. Most likely. Personally, that's frustrating. Yeah. Chaotic Lab basically is, as far as I'm aware, and I have no proof, is basically Big Tree Tech, or at least a parent company. Because if you go to if you look at the Voron kits that are available in the States in Micro Center, that's Chaotic Lab parts and Big Tree Tech parts. So I'm pretty sure they're related some way. So yeah, but yeah, they did that fully on their own without contacting the team at all. And yeah. Ships from and payment to Big Tree Tech. Okay, yeah. Did I pre-order a Prusa XL? Yes, I pre-ordered a dually. I pre-ordered a two-headed one. Okay, so this is Prusa Connect with a webcam. So I got to play around with Prusa Connect. Because right now I'm just playing with Prusa Link, which I thought the Prusa Connect and Prusa Link were the same, but I guess they're not. So I'll try Prusa Connect next, I guess. We'll see. Okay. How are they? I have no idea. I'm not in the States. I'm not an American, so I've never even been in a Micro Center. So, hey, Micro Center, if you want to sponsor a build, let me know. Oh, Wexter's here. Hey, Wexter. Do I need to use a solid state relay if I'm using an Ender 3 bed? No. Prusa Connect uses Prusa servers to send the data. Link is local, Connect is cloud. Okay. Okay. On your 2.4, do you use the stock front door hinges or do you use a detachable mod? This one is stock. This one is the V 2.1, because it's a single panel. It's not a door. So these are like the 2.1 hinges. That's why the handles are down here. Uh-oh. Hey, buddy. Oh. How you doing? You doing good? Almost done. You are shedding like mad right now, dog. All the furs. Kisses? Oh, you just want ear scritches? Ear scritches. You're getting fur all over my printers, buddy. You're getting fur all over the printers. And he's gone. Do you ever set up a stream for ordering the crappiest AliExpress printer kit? No, I was tempted to, but people have already done those printers, so it's kind of like I really don't like repeating content. You should be able to connect a USB camera. I doubt that. I don't think it's got enough power to handle running a camera. Also, I'm using Prusa Link right now. Is there any even settings in here? Like, what can you do in Prusa Link? There's that. There's storage. Is there like English? There's English, check, and whatever. It's like no settings in here to do anything. What size is my 2.4 R2? So I've got two. That one's a 250. That's a 300. I use the 250 the most. It's on their GitHub page. Okay. Is the next extruder really so much better? I would say yes. So the issue with the Mark III extruder, one, it's direct feed, no gearing. Okay. So that stepper motor is connected directly to the drive gear. So it's not as precise as a geared extruder, which this is. Two, it uses the Bondtech gears, right? The dual Bondtech gears, which I think it was Mirage C did a very good video. I think it was Mirage C, where basically slight misalignment causes a lot of the VFA issues that you see. It's basically a downside of using dual gears because they just the way they mesh can cause inconsistent. This is a big old honking single feed gear that's like big, so it should be very consistent, and it's geared, so it's very small steps. Do I have a watt meter connected? No, I do not. Power draw, I'm assuming, is probably near the same as a Mark III. The biggest power draw is going to be the bed and the heater, and those are pretty much the same. So, yeah, my Trident's a 350, but it's 250 on the X. Does it have Ukrainian? It has. Oop, wrong button there, wrong button there. We're at 78%, by the way. It has English. It has Czech. And it has Korean. Okay. I speak English and un petit peu de français. So. When I'm in Rapid, I should hit the... Okay, so when I'm going to Rapid, I won't have a vehicle. And I'm pretty much flying into Midway Airport, taking a cab or an Uber, which I've never taken an Uber in my life. I don't even have the app on my phone. But taking a vehicle, a rental of some sort to... or a bus or whatever, to the McCormick Center. My hotel is at the McCormick Center. It's right across the street from the McCormick Center. So I'm going to be able to just... I'm hoping to not need to travel once I'm there. How is the next extruder? It's a different way of doing it. So far, it seems okay. The downside is it's offset. So the filament feed path is offset. So I don't think you could put this in a Voron without some redesigning going on. See you at Rapid. I will see you at Rapid, Joel. Let me know what time you're flying in. And everyone say hi, Joel. Hey, how are you liking the Voron? It's funny. He finally builds it, and now all his stuff on Twitter is Voron stuff. See? Look what you've been missing out on. It does have power panic. It does have power panic. So that means I should be able to do that. Oh, the power flickered. Oh no. Original Prusa. It's booting up. It's heating back up. That's like said it's automatic. Was it automatic on the Mark III? Was the Mark III an automatic reboot? Or did you have to manually restart it off after the power went out? I've never actually tested the Mark III. And we're back to printing. Yeah, it has like so if I remember correctly, it has like a capacitor. So it has like enough power to go, oh shit, save, park. And then it auto resumes. So if you had a power go out at night, it would just keep, as soon as the power came back on, it would just keep going. Mark III is automatic resume? Okay. Oh, it required input on the Mark III, the bed stayed pot. Oh, okay. Auto on the Mark III S. Okay. Well, either way, it works, and it auto resumes, so that's good. Because here's my thing, with auto resume, like power panic, right? So if the power is out for a length of time that the bed gets cold, in my opinion, it's useless. Because a lot of the time, once the bed gets cold, your print's popping off the bed, especially if you print on PEI like I do. So it's better if you really depend on prints being 100% successful to run a UPS instead of relying on power panic. Because if this case, if I was printing, you know, something on PI and the bed got cold because it sat for 10 minutes and the machine turns back on and goes to resume and it knocks the print off the bed, it's just going to spaghetti for the rest of the night. Versus a power supply, a UPS, where if the power goes out for 5 minutes, the printer just keeps running. So. And then if it goes out after that, odds are the print would have failed anyways on resume. So that's kind of my thinking of power panic and whatnot. If it has stealth mode, I don't know. Print speed, flow factor, sound mode. That's the beeper. Fan check, user interface, network, time zone, offset, info, message history. I don't see anything for that in there. Guarding against the power voltage is much better than relying. Exactly. That's pretty much what I do. Because if the power is going to be out long enough that your UPS died, odds are power panic wouldn't have saved it. What UPS? Whatever the biggest one you can get on sale at Costco is, because Costco's got a really good warranty. I've got a 15. Is it 1500? Yeah, I've got a 1500 that I have both my boron, both my V2s hooked up to. What's your opinion on P1P DIY enclosure versus X1 printing almost solely? In my opinion, my personal opinion, unless you absolutely need an enclosure and AMS unit, P1P with the upgraded abrasive nozzle is pretty much does everything X1 does for cheaper, a little bit slower, and that's really the only difference. And a shittier webcam, but who cares? Functionally, it's near the same. P1P makes a lot more sense, in my opinion. Costco UPS rental program. Basically. Screen is touch. Oh, so it is capable. I don't know. I don't like touch screens, so I prefer the button. Power panic will heat up and wait for user input if the bed is cooled more than 10 minutes or 10 degrees. Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. So that's not too bad then, but still. Is the BL Touch from the Mark III's as good as the homing sensor on the Mark IV? The Mark III doesn't use a BL Touch. It uses a Pinda probe. It's a Prusa developed probe, basically. This is better. The load cell is better. I can't say 100% for sure because I've only done like 2 prints with this machine so far. But coming from somebody who has Vorons now that are running Voron Tap, which is a nozzle probe, it's using the nozzle itself as a probe versus like an inductive sensor, it's so much nicer to work with. So as long as the load cell on here is reliable, which I'm assuming it is, considering they've been running these machines for a year in the print farm, you should be okay. Anything under 1,000 will not work and alarm the heater, overdrawn the UPS. Yeah, that's why I have a 1,500. I used to have 1,000 and it worked okay, but then I got a 1,500 just to alleviate some small issues I was having when I was running both printers at the same time. And now the 1,000 runs my server. So we're coming up on 5 o'clock. So pretty much as soon as this print finishes, we're gonna do the giveaway and end the stream. And I'll do a recap. I gotta make dinner. I'm doing butter chicken and rice, I think, tonight with naan bread for dinner. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Are we on the top layer? We're on the top layer. How much does a Voron cost? Depends on if you're self-sourcing or a kit and what kit. Voron, you don't buy Vorons, you build Vorons. Yeah, this is Jesse PLA. Jesse Mystery Orange PLA, because I don't have any actual Prusa Mk4 PLA. I have Prusa Mk4, but it's all like ABS. Which I am gonna have to print some ABS on this, but we'll see. Actually, what color am I gonna print the rocket ship in? Is that ABS? I got purple. I need a color for the rocket ship engine. I don't know what I'm going to use the rocket ship engine for. I've got all kinds of cool ABS colors, but not a lot of PLAs. Did I crash the text? I haven't tested I tested the power panic. I haven't tested crash detection on this. Silver? Do I have silver? I don't know if I do. I do. Do I have enough? PLA silver. No, I don't think I have enough. What color are you? What color are you? I've got PLA. I've got some silverish PLA. I'll use this stuff. It's some filaments.ca standard PLA 4043. I'll use that. Prusa Mk4 in Brazil will cost 10,000 reals. Oof. I don't know how that converts to, though. Is TFT50 worth it over a generic Waveshare screen? Evie, you're talking to somebody whose personal favorite screen on a Voron is a Mini 12864. I like really simple, basic, cheap screens with a touch dial or with a clicky dial because I use a web interface for everything. But I have used the TFT50 on Tallboy, and it works really good. So with the clipper screen. SV06 is 1.7K reels. Ooh, but yeah, it's still a lot more. So there we go. Se finito. So again, this was printed at 0.3 layer height. So we're gonna have some issues with overhangs not coming out super good because again it is printed focus. It is printed with 0.3 layer height, and this model is not super friendly to overhangs. But so this is the 0.3 coarse profile. Top, and this thing has amazing first layers. And that bridge in there is clean. And because this print is a test print, bearing goes in, it does fall out. So the bearing is a little loose, but this model is designed for ABS. Yeah, so the bearings do fit, but they're loose. But again, this model is designed for ABS, not PLA. That text, actually, for being 0.3 layer height, that text came out pretty clean. The overhangs aren't the greatest, but there's like, it's a sharp overhang. Let's see. This will be the worst lighting I can get on it. Yeah, this is the most harsh lighting you can get on it. Because that lighting's hitting it right on an angle that's going to highlight every defect. Bottoms are just so clean. You know what, I'm actually surprised? We've had over 1,000 people in here and we haven't had the porn bot show up yet. That's what I'm surprised about. Also, the printer's pretty good. Okay, so go back to home, filament, unload film. So I'm gonna have to set the GoPro up because I want to get a time lapse of this. That ringing. I wouldn't call that ringing. Like there is a little bit of ghosting, but this is also the coarse profile, so it's the most aggressive one they have, and there's no input shaper on it. And you have to have it really, yeah, like it does show up when you hit it with lighting on the right angle, but if the lighting isn't highlighting it, you don't see it. Yeah, you really have to have like lighting hitting across it to see. If you're looking like at it, you barely, you can sort of see it, but it's not. When you give somebody a print, do they go, how are the dimensions? I don't know. My vernier is broken. It's a cube. It's gonna be it's 30 by 30 by 30, plus minus 0.02. I haven't had a printer really screw up dimensions, and if your dimensions are off by less than 0.05 or 0.5 millimeter, it's a flow rate thing. What do you think about the next extruder from the XL and a Voron rat rig? Probably really cool. Actually, I'm really liking this extruder. I'm liking this toolhead package. This is actually a really nice toolhead package, I will say. It's just, I mean, look at it. It's super compact. It's really close to the x-axis. Like it's, a lot of the weight is, it's as close to this x-axis as you can get, really. So, and I love this. So if you had it out, let's see if I control. Oh wait, it's not touchscreen. That's right. Control auto home. So worst case scenario. The homing is freaking out because it's changing. There you go. Okay. So it won't break the door unless you have it open all the way. But you could tell it's checking. It's not getting consistent results with the sensorless because it kept opening the door a little bit more every time. So move. Set up all the way. Okay, cool. Will there be another Voron? Maybe. I don't know. If there were, yeah, we already have it. Again, Stealth Doodler. It's a Voron pen. It's got an E3D Revo in it. Return. Filament. Load filament. PLA. There we go. Gotta bite it. Okay. So that's still there is a real thing. Yeah. It's where did I put it? It's right here. Got E3D Revo and everything on it. See? E3D. Of course it's a real product. Purge more. Purge more. There we go. Yes. Return. Cool down. There we go. Okay, cool. So that is the initial unboxing stream of a Prusa Mk4. Yeah, it's if you like the Mark III, you'll like the Mk4. If you are a person who has a habit of posting on every video about a Prusa, saying the same 4 things about overpriced and it's still a bed flinger and I canceled my XL order for a Bamboo, you're not gonna like this machine. And stop posting it. It's getting boring. Get new content. But who is this machine for? It depends. Like all things, there is not one solution for everyone. Okay. If you're a student living in a dorm, or your printer is going to be in your bedroom, or it's going to be in a living space, this is a solid option. It's nice and quiet. It's relatively fast right now. It'll get faster once they have input shapering on it and running. It prints as good as a Mark III and better, because it's got the 0.9 degree steppers, better extruder, better tool head, better cooling, better interface. It's a better Mark III because it's the Mark IV. So is this machine for you? Do you need to print ABS out of the box? Maybe not. Do you just want to print cool things here and there using PLA and a PETG a lot, and the machine's going to be in your living room or in your computer room next to you? It's probably a good option. Schools and businesses will probably get a lot out of this machine, and because it checks a lot of boxes for them. But it's like all things. There is no yes or no answer. There's so many variables at play when it comes to deciding a printer. It is a little pricey. If you're new to 3D printing and you're not sure if this is a hobby you're going to be in for a long time, and if it's, you just want to wet your feet in it, maybe an SV06 makes more sense for you. Are you somebody who you're a student for architecture and you're going to be printing stuff you design constantly and you need something that just works, that needs to be next to you on a desk? This makes more sense. It really depends. Is it a bad printer? No. It prints really good. Yeah. It prints good. Nothing wrong with that. Might be a little slower, but it's also a little quieter. So what's the retail? $99.99. Do you know that I'm a goon of Joseph? No. I wish I was. I'd be getting paid at least for that. It's not even my machine. I have to give it back to somebody on Friday or Saturday, because like I'm borrowing it from somebody who's local. So yeah, depends on your budget, depends on your use case, depends on what you're looking to get out of the machine. And there's also factors of personal beliefs. Are you okay with a completely closed off machine where everything goes through the cloud? Or do you want a little bit more control over it and the freedom to mod and tinker with? And yeah, F it all and just build a Voron. That's the right thing to do. So yeah, Friday on the stream, I'm going to print a bunch of stuff over the next little while with this thing. I'm just going to hammer through a bunch of prints just to get some time on it. Friday on the live stream, we'll see how fast we can make it dance. I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah, black hammer. Yeah, it's an option. It's good to have. This is a tool in your toolbox. You don't use every tool in your toolbox all the time, but those that you use a lot, you can probably justify. So this is just another tool in the toolbox. Get the right tool for the job. So, any plans to build a VZ bot? If I get a kit. Also, if you're going to get a Prusa, get the kit. It's more fun. So yeah, that is that. Okay, let's do the giveaway. Wheel of names. So, close that off. And link to sheet. Create new spreadsheet. While that's doing that, print rocket engine. So I'm going to put you right about there. So this is a 13-hour print. So hopefully it works good. Ooh, we got 1,000 entries. Good luck. So while I'm doing this, make sure if you're new here, hi, welcome to the channel. We stream 3 days a week. Usually Fridays are like just a hangout stream, but the Tuesdays and Saturday streams are usually a build or a mod or something stream. I do videos occasionally, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel and ring that bell and all that other things YouTubers say, or something. I don't know, like the smash button. Where's the GoPro? Right here. Actually, I gotta turn this on. Actually, I gotta take the stupid battery out, because here's the thing with the GoPro 10. It works really good. I like it. Unfortunately, it has a really bad habit of overheating when doing time lapses. So what I do is I take the battery out, I leave the door off, and I power it via battery or via literally just plugging it in. Where is a USB cable? Oh no, the print's starting. No, that's an XLR. Why do I have an XLR cable? That's a mic cable. Where are all my USB-Cs? Here we go. That's USB-C. That's USB-C to USB-C. Dang it. Where are all my USB-C cables? I've got a million of them and I can't find one right now. There we go. Aha, okay. You go there. Come on, turn on. You're gonna be a butt, aren't you? Okay, it doesn't want to turn on at all. There we go. GoPros. They work great until they don't. This cable don't work. I swear, GoPros are the most finicky piece of electronics in the world. They don't need to be. They just are. And it's super annoying. Your HDMI. What the heck is going on? What the heck is going on? USB-C cable. USB-C cable. You are too short. There we go. USB-C. There we go. Okay, so. Nope. Time lapse. There we go. Time warp 30. And go. Hopefully. Really? You don't want to charge? Charge. Stupid GoPro. Well, whatever. See how it goes. Let's do a giveaway. Look at all these people. There is a lot of people here. This is a Prusa Mk4. Give me a number between 1 and 4. I need a number between 1 and 4. 1 and 4. Two. 1, 2. Round and round she goes. Where she stops, I don't know. Computer knows. It knows everything. It's gonna take all our jobs too. You'll get an email from me after the stream ends. Mr. Winner, Mrs. Winner, Darren Robinette, congratulations. You have won. So you'll get an email from me after the stream ends on how to collect your filament from Polymaker. Woo. So, okay, got your information there. Thank you for spamming chat and helping out with the YouTube algorithm. Make sure you like that smash button as well, because that helps a lot too. I'm gonna put a fan on this too. I really don't want this to overheat. Because GoPros are finicky. Each generated GoPro is getting more stable. Hero 11 is more stable than the Hero 10 Black, which is more stable. Okay. Well, I have a Hero 10, so I'm stuck with it. Thanks to you. But thanks to you, I have a Hero 10. That first layer is so clean. So good. Can't see for this spool. that. Look at that first layer. Look at that first layer. That's a thing of beauty. Okay, so we're gonna let that print. I'll post a picture of it on the YouTubes, and that'll probably be tomorrow. I'll post a picture of the boats too. If I can. Where did I put the orange boat? Oh, here it is. Okay. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the stream. We'll be back Friday. We'll try some speed printing with this. I'll see how it goes with the stock profile, see how far we can push it. Shout out to Josh for the printer. Wouldn't be able to do it without him going, hey, I have a printer. Do you want to play with it? I'm like, okay. So now I have it till Saturday. So yeah, so we will be doing a build of a Mark III whenever kits are available and I can buy one. Spool and clockwise. It is in a clockwise, don't worry. Shout out to Polymaker for the spool of filament that we give away. We give away spool every filament, so make sure you check them out. Also check out the link for Prusa in the description. It is an affiliate link. Doesn't cost you anything extra. It goes a long way in supporting the channel. So if you do want to pick up the Mark IV, I feel okay putting affiliate links down for that. I think it's an okay machine, and I feel content. I feel okay putting an affiliate link for it. Normally I don't like putting affiliate links for things I don't fully endorse, but initial impression is good. So yeah, we're gonna call it there. For those that donate to the channel, gifted memberships to others, or became members of the channel yourself, I thank you. I would not be able to do the things I do, create the content I create, without your continued support. You make it all possible. I would not be able to do it without you. Building a Mark III. I already built a Mark III. We're building a Mark IV whenever kits are available. So we're gonna call it there. I'm gonna go make dinner. Enjoy the rest of your week out there. Be safe, wash your hands, and I will see you on Friday for some Prusa speed printing, which is gonna be a thing now, I guess. Bye. Cheers.